And when you read the book of Proverbs, there's going to be principles here that only your eye is going to unfold. And I'm telling you, if you pick that up, your life can never be the same. Let's start the study. To understand a proverb is a hidden message, suggestive language. It's satire. It's a style of teaching that provokes thoughts. It's teasing symbolism. And of course, you've heard so many Chinese proverbs. You know Chinese proverbs. And there's Ghanaian proverbs and Nigerian proverbs. There's Zimbabwean proverbs. And each culture has a bit of a proverb, One of my favorite works are the works of Geoffrey Chaucer. And I love reading Geoffrey Chaucer. And it's filled with proverbs and certain kinds of language. It's not an easy read because it's written in Old English, Elizabethan English, but every now and then it's great. Shakespeare, probably one of the greatest minds ever, a lot of his sonnets and so on and so forth are filled with proverbs and little sayings, teasing wisdom. And of course, you can actually, if you do literature, English literature, and you are assigned a book, the responsibility is for you to break down little sayings. For example, from As You Like It, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. That's a proverb. And what it is that Shakespeare, in all of his works, are filled with hints and proverbs and teasing language that we should be interrogating. The Bible's filled with it. One of my favorite proverbs from the book of Judges is like a parable where they're asking for a king. The trees ask for a king. And so they ask the olive tree, and they ask the palm, and they ask the grape. And all of them are so busy doing what they do. The grape was producing grape dizer. The other one was producing olive oil. This one was producing fig jam. So busy in their own little organization and world and refused to take responsibility. And so the thorn tree said, well, I'll be your king. And the thorn tree snares the entire nation. And of course, people that were listening to that were just thinking, that's a cute story on a botanical garden. Let's get some trees in our orchard. But what he's actually telling them, you guys are setting yourselves up for trouble. So a proverb then is teasing language. And when you read the book of Proverbs, there's going to be principles here that only your eye is going to unfold. And I'm telling you, if you pick that up, your life can never be the same. A proverb, number 2, there is the interpretation of the proverb. And that is breaking down levels of revelation. Breaking down levels of revelation. It's a way of dealing with certain principles. It's also to untangle complexities. Untangle complexities. Because what a math test is, I did fairly well at maths up until the first year of Form 4. Up until that point, I was doing great with maths. At the end of Form 3A, I was in 3A3 at Founders. I came first in maths in 3A3. But when we put 3A1, 3A2, and 3A3 together, I wasn't first in maths. I was like 10th. Because 3A1, 3A2, there were some Indian guys that worked tills over the weekends, and they were better than me in maths. I mean, just being a little cynical there. But in 3A3, I was top in maths. And then when we went to Form 4, they did away with the 3A3s, the A3s. They put some of the 3A3s into 4B, 4B1. Founders was a master school, so they had A1, A2, A3. Then they had B1, B2, B3, B4. Then they even had C1, C2, C3. And then they had D for I don't know who. And so when we got to Form 4, they did away with A3. And so some made the cut to go to 4A2. I didn't go to 4A1, 4A2. And so my first year in maths, I did very poorly. For one reason, the maths teacher there gave me hell, really hell. Gave me a very hard time, was very ugly to me. I was spending time outside the class. Bismark would stand outside. So 3 outsides equals 6 shots. I was always getting shots. You know, the day I know I'm going for shots, I used to put a textbook right here. Mr. Harley said to me, "You have the hardest butt I've ever hit." I said, "That's because I went to Mbakwe." Mr. Harley was so tall, he used to swing from here. Well, of course, I went to Mbakwe. We used to get beaten in Mbakwe with a hippo's tail. So a cane was nothing. A cane, this is like child's play. You want to hit me with a hippo's tail. A priest there that used to be the head of our boarding school, we used to call him Kwam Kwam. He said, "Comes to my office." He was like 6'5". Bismark comes to my office. And he'd wind up that hippo's tail. I was thinking about it the other day. You know, Mr. Chetty beat me in Form 1 with the ruler. You know the blackboard ruler? He broke it on my head. Because I couldn't remember the lines of the slave's tale. I can't remember what I did one time. And Gwam Kwam he smacked me, but he hit me with the hostel keys in my face. And blood came pouring out. And then he hit me for putting blood on the red square. Because where we would meet for assembly, we called it Red Square. Thank you, Putin. And he made me mop Red Square. I don't know, man. And I got scars on my fingers from Stella Mackey, who beat me for not knowing the 8 times table. Was it 8 or was it 5? No, 5 was easy. 6, it was 8. 8 was the worst. Lumps, I still got scars here. Anyway, I did poorly in maths in Form 4. And of course, the school teacher there, the maths teacher, was very cruel. And then I learned later, after I failed maths at O-level, my teacher in Form 3A, when she saw my maths results, she said to me, "There's no way you could have failed maths, Tudor." And then we discovered that this man was in love with my mother's cousin, who dumped him and got it out on me. And Justice number 1 might have an opinion that's different to justice number 9. Is justice number 1 wrong? They are all right, but it's the words of the wise. And so then my school teacher, she's still alive today, met her last year when I went to Masvingo, Miss Valentine, Fiona Valentine, took me under her arm when I had to repeat maths. I was doing lower 6. I had to repeat maths. And because I had a school teacher that helped me, I did pretty good at maths. Now, that whole little story of child abuse and why I'm a sick bishop, oh, good grief, was that Fiona would say to me, Miss Valentine would say to me, Tudor, when you're looking at a maths problem, most of the time the answer is in the problem. You are looking at the problem. You're not looking at the answer. You will find the answer in the problem. Your answer is in the storm. Your solution is in the trial. Your test is in your healing is in the sickness. Your victory is in the suffering. And so when the proverb comes, as it starts rolling out, to you it could be, nothing comes out of Nazareth that's good. But you're not looking. It's not about, you're looking at Nazareth. It's the thing, not Nazareth. I'm not saying, what can come out of Nazareth? Look at the thing. Don't look at Nazareth. Look at what's in the container, not the container. Look at what's in the book, not the cover. And so what he's doing in Proverbs, he's hiding wisdom. And he'll show you that in chapter number 25, where the glory of God conceals a thing. So God is hiding it to see if you're really serious. Because if you're serious, then you'll push for 10,000 a plate and 100,000 a plate. But if he just throws it out there, you'll be like a swine and just walk all over pearls of great price. I remember years ago I went to this one meeting. The registration was $1,000 to go and hear this guy. And I paid, we went, there were a whole bunch that went. And honestly, when I listened to this guy, I was like, I preached this in 1982. This is 97. I preached this in 1982. And I paid $1,000 to come listen to what I preached in 1982. And he was walking like he was a Marquenia. Because swine don't know pearls. And so what he's saying in Proverbs, this is wisdom I'm hiding. I'm putting it in a proverb, in a riddle. And you'll find the interpretation. Find the interpretation. Number 3, the words of the wise. Everyone say words of the wise. The words of the wise. The words of these understanding positions of wisdom. And I'll explain that now in a minute. The words of the wise. It's not a wise man's words. It's not a wise man's words. It's the words of the wise. Let me explain it this way. Let's use the Supreme Court, all right? There's generally 7 justices or 9 justices on a Supreme Court. I was watching, and following Brexit. The Supreme Court in the UK has been sitting to determine who activates Article 50, which is to get Britain out of Europe, based on 52% of people that voted out. So is it the Prime Minister, or is it the House of Commons, Parliament, and the House of Lords? And so now they have, how many justices are there? Are there 9, or is it 7? I can't remember. 9. 9 justices sitting there. Now, here is what the words of the wise means. You have 9 justices here. They are sitting on the front row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 1 woman justice on the panel. Each of these justices, 9 of them, on the same issue, are going to write their opinion. And justice number 1 might have an opinion that's different to justice number 9. Is justice number 1 wrong? They are all right. But it's the words of the wise. Not a wise man's words. And what we have with Proverbs is that we have individuals who make destiny decisions without the words of the wise. So are you going to base your lifetime decision on the words of Uncle so-and-so, who's always drunk, but has a PhD in something? Well, I'm going to listen to Uncle George because, he's been through life and has had experiences. But I'm not putting my trust in Uncle George alone. I know this old preacher that comes from Magwegwe. He's been in ministry for 45 years. I'm going to talk to him about the same thing. And then I'm also going to talk to so-and-so who, so one after the other. So I'm not going to make a lifetime decision or a destiny decision on just one word of a wise man. I'm going to look at the whole Supreme Court. And I'm going to find which words are going to be applicable to me. That's how Proverbs is written. It's the decisions, the thoughts, the opinions over a span of time. I'm so amazed as to how people make destiny decisions based on Auntie Cookie's words